This week's Multiple Choice Monday is about hydrated salt calculations. And one thing to realise when you come across a question like this is really an empirical formula question. So it's not exactly the same, but in an empirical formula, you're given either the masses of each element that's present or the percentage by mass, and you have to work that into moles to get a molar ratio. And for a hydrated salt question, it's the same idea. Basically, what you want to know, although this is not a salt, it's an acid, is the same idea again, is what is N when the number of moles of the ethane dioic acid equals 1. So we need to know the molar ratio of the H2C2O4 to the H2O. And unlike on other empirical formula calculations, we're always going to set that H2C2O4 to be 1, and then what is H2O relative to that. So it doesn't matter whether we're given percentages or actual masses. We can just use it because it's a ratio. We can really use any numbers we like. So when we heat this hydrated compound, what will happen is it will break down and the water will be removed, and so I will get N moles of H2O for every 1 mole of my H2C2O4. So since we've been given percentages, let's imagine that we started with 100 grams of my hydrated salt. What other numbers can we get from the question? Well, it says that we lost 28.6% of the mass. The mass that is lost is the water that is coming off the compound. And so we know that 28.6 grams will equal the mass of the water. Since it can only be made up of the mass of the water and the mass of the H2C2O4, that also gives us the mass of the H2C2O4. That will be 71.4 grams. From here, we're going to do what we would do with an empirical formula. So there is my acid. Here is my H2O. I have masses, so 71.4 grams and 28.6. From mass, we can use the molecular masses to work out the number of moles. So the molecular mass of H2C2O4 is 90. So if I divide 71.4 by 90, I get 0.793 moles. And then if I take my 28.6 and divide it by the molecular mass of water, which is 18, I get 1.589 moles. The next thing we do to get a whole number ratio is divide both of those by the smallest number, 0.793, and what we get is a 1:2 ratio, meaning that N in the formula is 2. Want to know more, especially about calculations? Do make sure that you sign up to my free chemistry revision club or sign up to my mailing list generally, because I've got some great news in the next month or so about calculations courses coming up. And there's some practice exam style questions and explainer videos on my website already. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already, so that you can get notifications about new chemistry videos every week.